Hey everyone. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the psychology around language learning, specifically about expectations versus reality and motivation. A lot of people start the new year ready to tackle a new language. It's a great resolution. People are excited, they're enthusiastic about it. They start off with a whole bunch of energy, only to have that energy fade in a couple weeks, and then they trail off and they quit altogether in a couple months. Then they get discouraged and they blame themselves. I want to emphasize something. The issue is not you. It's not your intelligence, because we all learned our first language just fine. The issue is deeper than that, and that's what I want to talk about in this video today. For those of you who don't know me, which is basically everybody at this point, my name is Thomas, and here's a little background about me. I am technically a linguist. I have a master's degree in applied linguistics, and during that time, I used most of my extracurricular time to focus specifically on second language acquisition. So that's the academic portion of it. On the practical side, I've personally tested several language learning methods and platforms, the most recent being Dreaming Spanish with their comprehensible input approach. And that one took me a long time, over 2,200 hours. If you're interested in that, I'll post a link to that video above. Also, I'm learning Japanese this year, and I plan on learning 5 more languages over the next few years. So this is a long haul thing for me. So I just wanted to kind of state that and be transparent about it before I start giving people advice. But that being said, the first step to adopting a language learning mindset that I think will be conducive to your journey is to know that language learning takes time. It takes a long time to learn a language. You could be somebody that gets to an intermediate level in 6 months, or it could take you over a year. It depends on the person, but as long as you're devoting time every day to that, you will be making progress. And you might see some YouTubers say that they've learned language in 30 days or something like that, but most of those videos are YouTubers that are learning specific set phrases in narrow domains that have certain expectations when it comes to the questions that are going to be asked to them. So then it seems like they're more fluent than they are. Just know that general fluency is different. General fluency is when you are comfortable in any domain and can hold a conversation and don't have to think about it. So expect that this will be a very slow, gradual process. Progress will be uneven. There will be peaks and plateaus, but as long as you stick with it, you'll get there. So it's good to have some realistic expectations when you go into this within a certain time frame, rather than beating yourself up about not reaching a certain level. The next thing I want to talk about is motivation. It is good to be motivated. It's good to have reasons to do something like this, reason to learn a language, but motivation and willpower alone will not get you to fluency. Motivation changes, excitement fades, willpower is finite. On top of that, life is messy and unpredictable. So it's better to rely on something that's a little more stable. And that, for me, is systems. So when you create a simple routine, create a simple doable system around your life, no matter where you are in your language learning journey, if you have a busy family, a busy life, responsibilities, build something sustainable around that, something that you can follow every day. If you commute to work, listen to a podcast or Pimsleur. If you're watching a show, see if you can dub it in the language that you're learning. If you doom scroll on TikTok, see if you can doom scroll videos in that language. So if you think about it, if you commute half an hour each way, 30 and 30, watch a show every day, that's 30 minutes, and doom scroll for an hour, that's 2.5 hours right there every day. So some people like to just do drills and grind, and unless you like that, you could do that, but I would really recommend incorporating your routine into your life, because enthusiasm fades, motivation fades, and when you can create a system, you really don't have to rely on that. Another thing is it's also important to understand that some languages will feel easier than others. That has nothing to do with talent. It has to do with your interest in the language, but also how close your language is to your native tongue. So, for example, if you speak Spanish or Italian, if you speak Spanish, Italian or French will be much easier than Japanese or Arabic. Language distance matters. Linguistic distance matters. So just keep that in mind. Another thing is if you're already bilingual and if you learned a second language as an adult or even a teenager, you'll usually have an easier time acquiring any additional language compared to somebody who's only monolingual. That's because you've already developed certain cognitive frameworks that monolinguals still need time to build. That doesn't mean that monolinguals are bad at any languages, and it shouldn't discourage anyone from learning a language. It just means that the playing field isn't always equal, and that's okay. Everyone starts from different places, so it's just something to be aware about, especially if you start comparing yourself and your progress to other people. So, with that being said, if there's one thing that you can take away from this video, it is that being fluent doesn't come with intensity or motivation. It's about mindset and consistency. People who build their lives around that and build it for the long game, they will see success instead of relying on motivation. As long as you can get back on when you fall off and you have a structure to support yourself, you will do fine and you will get there in time. It's not going to be a matter of if, it will be just a question of when. So thank you so much for listening and good luck.